This is Pegasus. It has an intake, landing gear, and a new back section that I designed here. Flies very well. I know it's a long video, but that's only because of the landing gear. It's not actually that complex. I would say Nightbird Alpha is more complex than this. But still, it's not for beginners. Let me know in the comments down below if you want me to do another beginner plane like Serpent. For those of you who are just starting out jet folding. So today I'm using some very nice origami paper. It's a 10" by 10". This is what I recommend using. I wouldn't use anything below printer paper because this front landing gear here, it's pretty small, so if you're using something small, you might have a difficult time folding it. Let's just get started, I guess. So we'll take point to point first. Then we could go ahead and fold that. Then we can take the other point to the other point. Here, the workspace is a little dirty. Alright. Then for this crease, you're not going to crease it all the way. You're just going to want to take this edge to this edge. And you're only going to want to crease a little bit at the top, right here. Like so. It doesn't really... You just want like about 1 inch of crease. Like so. So it should look like that. I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing. Okay. And then on the side that doesn't have any creases, this side here, that'll be for me. You see it doesn't have any creases going to this point. I'm just going to take this tip to this tip. And you're going to crease this all the way. And you can take this edge to this edge. And then you can unfold that and squash it. And you can fold along this crease here. And you can just fold this down. And you want to line it up with this behind here. Gonna flip it over, just readjust it a little bit to make sure it's perfect. Okay. And then we're going to make a crease from here to here. Be very careful when you're doing this. Kind of want to just roll it up like that so it doesn't tear. And then just crease very gently at the corners. Okay, and then you're going to want to make a crease. So you're going to fold this until that point appears. And then you're going to want to line it up and just make a crease like so. But don't crease this part here. Only crease to the point where it stops being thick. Although it's okay if you crease a little bit past like that. And then we're going to do the same thing here. Okay, then you take this edge to this edge. And then do the same here. You can unfold that, flip it over, and make a crease that passes through that point. And you want these creases to line up with these edges. And you want the point to land on this center crease, of course. Like so. Then you can flip it over. And we're going to take this edge to the center. Make sure you crease this part here. And then do the same here. And you can unfold that. And then we're going to go ahead and fold in along this crease. And then fold back out along this crease. We'll turn this crease into a mountain fold. It's basically easier than it sounds. So you're just going to fold out, pull that out like so. And then you're going to do the same thing here. Sorry. And it should look like this. You should have this flap here. Just gonna want to go ahead and squash that. Okay. Then we're gonna make a crease that goes from here to here. And then you can do the same thing here. And then you can, and let me just readjust that. Alright, and then you can take this edge to the crease you just made. And do the same on the other side. Okay, then you're gonna unfold one side so it looks like that. I'm gonna fold this so that it lands along this crease here. Crease that. And you can squash it. And then just fold this over, fold this back in, and then you can do the same on the other side. Okay, then you can fold this edge to the center. And do the same here. And then we're going to pedal fold this from this point to this point. So just open this up, fold it in, do the same here. Just kind of pinch until you get a sharp tip. And then you can just go ahead and fold that down. Crease it nice and sharp. And fold it back down and give it a crease right along here. Okay, now we're going to do the most difficult step. We're going to unfold this. You're going to unfold actually all the way back to here. And then you can go ahead and fold this in, and then you're going to want to collapse along these creases here while pushing in on these creases here, so like so. You can kind of see a diamond shape begins to take place here, and then you're going to lay it all flat, and you're going to squash this whole thing. And that can be a little tricky because it's hard to get accurate. So I'm just going to open this up in here, and I'm going to start pushing it down. And you can make a crease that lines up with these creases here. And then you can just squash it, lining it up with the center. And it's probably gonna be a little off. You can see a little bit of white there. That's okay. It's not the worst thing that could happen. Okay, so you should have, this now. So now we're gonna sink fold this little flap here. Let's go ahead and do that. So you're just gonna fold it down, and then you're gonna open this up like so. And as you open that up, you can sort of push on that point and just pull it apart until you can pinch the creases on the sides to form a square like that. And then you can just push in and flatten, and should have this now. So now you're just gonna fold this down, and you're gonna fold this to the center. Flatten that. Do the same here. Flatten. Doesn't really matter how. And then you can just fold this back up, and then fold this to that crease, and then unfold. Then we're gonna want to make a crease from right there to that point right there along this crease, right? This edge. So we're just gonna go ahead and do that. Try to get it as accurate as possible. And you just go ahead and flatten this down. It might be a little inaccurate the first few times you do it. It's still inaccurate for me. I've done this a lot of times. And then you can fold this down and do the same here. Can't even see it. I think it's there. You can like pen in the crease if you can't really see it that well. And I'll just help you see it better. Helpful trick for you guys there. And then we can just go ahead and flatten this. And fold this down. And then you can go ahead and just fold up along these creases here and make a rabbit ear. Okay, but don't like fold to one side and fold to the other yet, because we're actually going to make this rabbit ear here a little smaller. So what you're going to want to do is, let's see if I remember the references. Yeah, so you're going to have a crease right here. You're going to want to swivel this back so it lands along this edge here, while still keeping it from that point right there. That's why I say swivel. So you're just going to go ahead and do that. And then you're going to take this crease to this crease, while still keeping it from that same point. So it should look like that. And then we can do the same thing here. Take this crease to the edge. A little funny. And then just fold the crease to that crease. And now you can fold this to one side and then this to the other. So now you should have this. So we're just gonna go ahead and squash fold this. And then we can now start working on our landing gear for the front. So I'm going to make a crease from this point to this point here. And then you can take this tip to the edge you just made. And then take that crease to the edge you just folded to. And then you can fold this in and squash this down. These are from the creases you made in the beginning. And then you can do the same thing here. As you can see, this is why it gets a little tricky if you're using small paper. It's very tiny, even with 10-inch paper. Okay, so now we can start working on our wings. So you can open this up, pull this out like so, and then you can do the same thing here. Just pull that out like so. And then you can, we're gonna do something. So you're gonna fold this up, but you're not gonna push this all the way in. You're just gonna push it so that when you can collapse this, at this point lands right along this edge here, like so. So it should look like that. And then you can just fold that down like so. Okay, now you can do the same thing here. So I'm just gonna fold this up, and then I'm gonna push this until my fingernail lands on this edge. Then I can just go ahead, fold that down, crease that, fold down. Okay, and then you can go ahead and actually unfold that. And then you're gonna flip this over, and we're just gonna fold these behind like so. So you're just gonna fold this over this edge and just tuck it in like that. Not on this layer here. And then you can just reopen that. Actually, here, let me do it from this side. And just recollapse those creases. So you should have this now. And let me just fix that real quick. So now we're gonna make a crease from that point to that point. Or actually until you're gonna land this edge, you're gonna land this edge on this edge. And it's gonna come a little short of that point. Then you can just reverse fold that, like so. And you're going to do the same thing here. And reverse fold it. Then you can just fold this into the center. And then you can just fold this out like so. Collapse it. And then take this edge to this edge. And then we're gonna make a crease that starts at that point. It goes to that point right there. Basically just want it to land on that crease right along there. And then you can unfold that, fold this in, and here, just fold that down, like so. You might have to readjust a little, so it'll come straight to a point, and there's nothing sticking over. I'm a little hoarse today. So we're gonna do the same thing here. And then you can just pull that out. I don't know if pull it out's the right word. I guess open and squash it. So yeah, you don't want like that where it's sticking over. So you can just kind of remake that crease a little bit. Okay, so now you should have this. So you're gonna open this up, fold this in, and just pull that in. And then you can pull this out and flatten it. And you're gonna take this edge to this crease right here. And then you're gonna flatten it so that it goes to that point right there. Make sure it doesn't go past. Okay, you can do the same thing here. And then you can just go ahead, fold it to that edge. Be careful when you're folding to the tip here. It likes to curve a little bit. Make sure you crease, all the way into that pocket. And then just flatten to that point. Okay, so now we can go ahead and flip this over. We're gonna unfold that like so. And we're gonna fold up along this crease and then down along these two creases here. And that's gonna form our tail fin. just fold that up and give it an extra crease. We'll flatten out anything that's bubbling too. You can just do the same thing here. Okay, then just go ahead, flip it over and fold this out. And then I'm gonna make a crease. It starts at that point, and it's gonna go to this edge right here. Not the back edge, but this edge here. Like so. So it should look like that. And then you can just do the same thing on this side. You can also just kind of guess where this point is. It doesn't really matter too much. Okay, so now we can start working on the back landing gear. So you're gonna fold this up, like so. And then we're gonna fold this so that this portion here is equal to this portion here. It's really no way to judge if you're doing it right or not. You just kind of have to eyeball it. You can fold this back over to center. And then you can fold this to this edge here. And then fold it back over to center. And you can unfold that, and we're just gonna do half a petal fold. So I'm gonna fold in along that, make a crease there, and just kind of pinch to the center crease, like so. And you can just go ahead and flatten it down like that. And you can fold this back over to center, and you're gonna push in a little bit like that. And then you can just kind of pinch in a valley crease between those two flaps, I guess. Coming from that point where you pushed in, then you can just flatten it down like so. And then you can do the same thing here. Hold it back over to center. Push in, pinch a valley crease in, and just flatten. Now we're gonna make a crease. It starts at that point right there, goes to that point up there. So it's not gonna go quite all the way to the center crease. Just do the same thing here. And then you can kind of pull this out, pinch it a little bit, and then fold this down. And you want, just give me a second here. You want this this edge here to be perpendicular to this edge here, or as close as you can get it. And then we're going to do all of those steps on this side here. Okay, so now that you have your landing gear completed, we're gonna lock in these tail fins, these back wings here. These are the back wings, by the way. I don't know if you noticed. So this is a little bit of an odd step, but basically you're gonna open this up, and you're gonna grab this here, and you're just gonna start pulling it apart from the top layer like that. That's when you've got about like a 1/4 inch, maybe. You can kind of stop, and then so you should have something that you can just fold up like so, and you want it to go down to that point right there. Then you can just give that the crease like so. Like I said, a little bit odd. So I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm just gonna pull this apart until we've got about like a 1/4 inch or so, where we can just fold it up. You can try and match what you did on the other side too by looking inside of there. Just kind of fold it down to this point right here. Okay. Perfect. So now you can go ahead and fold the crease from here to here. Okay, so now we're ready, almost ready to jet fold, or ready to do the creases, ready to jet fold. However, if you do want to add any additional things to your wings / tail fins, like if you want to like flatten the tip of this, or if you want to put it at an angle like that, or if you just want to like flatten the wings, here you can do that. But for the sake of the tutorial, I'm not going to do that. So we're just going to go ahead and prep our creases for a jet fold. So you're going to start it about right there. Sorry for background noise if you hear that. And you're just going to take it to that tip down there where you did your last step. Crease that down nice and tight, and then do the same thing here. Just gonna, I like to fold it like that, and then I like to, oh, I think it's coming apart a little bit. So, and then I like to lie it flat and just match it up like so. But you can jet fold it however you want. There's a lot of different ways that people do it. You can use like hard plastic or something to like crease this down. I'm just gonna use my fingers here. It's not as good, but it'll get the job done. Then you can fold all of this up like so. Make sure you're folding the back wing all the way up too. And then you can just flip it over and kind of smooth out any bubbling that you might have. I'm gonna do the same thing here. Just fold that all the way up. And crease out any bubbling. Okay, so now you can just lay it flat like that. Open this up, and we're gonna just do the locking mechanism. Pretty sure you've seen this before, so I'm not gonna explain it. Okay, so when you're doing this side, make sure it goes right to that point. Because I think it just looks a lot better that way, like that. Okay, here I'm gonna actually smooth out the back wings too, because they look like they're bubbling a little bit. Or at least not laying flat. There we go, that's better. So now you can, this can be a little tricky. So you're gonna pull this out, and you're only gonna pull the bottom part with the pocket out. So I'm just gonna kind of reach in there. You can kind of grab the front landing gear if you want. And the landing gear got a little messed up. I'm gonna just try to refold that. Alright, so you can just kind of open it up and just pull it out, like so. It got freaking messed up again. It's not supposed to look like this. You're supposed to have landing gear at the end. Like, okay, it's supposed to, yeah, it's actually supposed to look like that. There we go. And then you can just start shaping your intake, like so. Oh boy. Alright, didn't do it so well, so it looks kind of bad. And then you can just fold this down if it wants to. Like so. And there you go, you have a finished Pegasus. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And just a quick note to help make your plane fly better. Actually, set the tail fin straight, the wings flat, and if you want it stand up, I would suggest spreading the landing gear pretty far apart like that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you hopefully very soon in the next video.